Hi, and welcome to episode 2 with Egyptologist Mohamed Ibrahim from Egypt. So, thank you for your messages on the previous episode. Uh, you liked the subject, and we're glad you did because I know that this channel is about biomechanics and resistance training. But I'm fascinated also with the human body from a different perspective, especially from the perspective of the ancient Egyptian. So last time we told you that we will continue our conversation about herbs and healing options that the ancient Egyptian used back then. And you will notice that in this episode, many of the healing options that they used are based on natural factors. They were very careful how they treated the body. They knew how important to keep the body sane and safe. Not like today, most of the way we heal ourselves is based on many synthetic, over-the-counter drugs. And I feel that people need to be educated about options that they may have in their kitchen sink that they will work much better and safer versus just going and choose a pill. Before you do that, you need to be aware of your options. Know about your body. Know that there are many options that are safer and cleaner. So, Mohammed, today, since we're going to talk about energy in ancient Egypt, I have a question about how did they realize, first of all, that energy is so important, and how they knew that it's something that can be used in different ways?
That is a very good question. And I'm going to answer you from my own belief, because we didn't study anything like this. No one told us how the ancient Egyptians recognized the energy of this or that. So my belief, or I think that because of the shape of the ground in Egypt, and especially if I'm going to talk about the different types of stones, and we understand that each stone has its own energy, either sending negative energy or positive energy, most of them positive energy, of course. So my guessing that one day, one or more than one ancient Egyptian was standing or using rose granite. And I think they felt the energy of the rose granite. They maybe, if they live nearby the quarry of the granite, or they are using tools from granite, or they are using bases of granite, so they understood that this kind of stone is spreading a kind of energy, positive energy and healing energy. So this is maybe the beginning. But I'm talking about the primitive ancient Egyptians, who developed slowly. But if we talk about the main or the beginning of the story, no, the first human was very knowledgeable. They know everything. So they didn't need to do experiments. They didn't need to try things. No, they had the information from day one. Okay, so that is my guessing how they understood the importance and the level of energies of different things.
Okay, so when we say that the very first Egyptian had already knowledge of this, what we all know also that people at that time basically used to try to live in tribes and kill to eat. They weren't that smart to start talking about energy and stuff. So what time are we talking about here?
No, look, according to the latest label we have, if you asked me this question last year, I will tell you that the early beginning of ancient Egypt was 600,000 BC.
600,000?
Yes.
And why you say that?
Because they discovered some flint tools, and the date of the flint tools is 600,000 BC.
Where did they discover this?
Okay. On top of the mountains of the Valley of the Kings at Luxor.
Valley of the Kings.
And by the way, yes, and by the way, these tools were found a long time ago, more than 150 years ago.
And where were they?
now some are in the Egyptian Museum, some at the British Museum and Petrie Museum in London also.
And they are labeled 600,000 years ago?
Yes, yes.
Wow,
that is if you asked me last year.
Okay, so what will you say now?
That will be part of my book, okay, with full details. But after visiting, and I thought this kind of information is going to be, I will not say secret, but limited, okay? But of course, the high officials in archaeology must know about it, okay? Because
when we say high, like means like who? Are you able to say who?
Managers and old Egyptologists, okay, who are the heads of departments, okay? So I visited the newly opened museum called the Civilization Museum, okay? There they put a label of the different civilizations or cultures, as they call it, okay? And they put like 3000 BC, 5000, 10,000, 35,000, 55,000, 500,000. So that, as far as I know. And the last one is 2.3 million years old. Flint tools dated back to 2.3 million years old.
So this is in the museum.
Exactly, an official statement.
An official statement. How you come up? Like, can you tell us the procedure? How you come up with an official statement? What you have to go through to get there?
Science.
Yeah. What do you mean by like how you gonna carbon date that? Like, what is the procedure that they will do?
Look, carbon dating is not accurate in this case. On very old pieces, they are not okay with this method. So they use another method. I don't know the exact name in English, but something about the radiation of the nuclear. So they say how many radiation they lost, so they can, yes, reverse the numbers, okay? And so we have now two ways to do this, the carbon-14, but not for very long pieces. Like carbon-14, let's say they use it to date till maybe 100 years old, 100,000 years.
100,000.
Even less. But older than this, they use the something, and also, I will try to find you the name later. It's also about the light. There's a kind of light or photon, something like that.
I will add the title, like when I edit the video, I will add the name, if you remember it.
But it's a very scientific. So what happens or what make it official, if they found something and they didn't do any analysis, then they will start to create a story, and the story will stuck with the object, even if it is right or wrong, okay? But most of the cases will be wrong. But if they do scientific tests, no way to deny it, no way to claim that it is less or wrong, okay? Because science said it is 2.3 million years old. So they have to follow this. So, and this is what happened. When you go to the Museum of Civilization, when you cross to the main hall, on the right side, you will see the big label with the classifications, and the last line says 2.3 million years old.
So this is now creating a confusion or a problem on different many levels. It's like they are contradicting themselves, you know.
Right.
What I mean by that means like many people say that Göbekli Tepe is the oldest civilization, you know, and they don't know about it that much to be able to tell us like what happened there, you know. And Göbekli Tepe, they say it's 11,000 years old.
Yes.
BC, 11,000 or 12. Okay, so now, so now we're talking about like 2 million.
2,300,000.
Okay, 2,300,000. Well, so what happened there? Like there was civilizations who were intelligent enough?
Yes, so now we come back to your question. You said, how come a group of warriors, hunters, primitive people will be aware with this kind of healing the stones. No, they didn't discover this, but their knowledge from their ancestors. Okay, because humans didn't start primitives and then developed. No, humans started in the top of evolution and then started to decline. So every civilization, and I can tell you there were, after 2.3 million years old of humanity, we must have thousands of civilizations, one after the other.
Yep.
Okay, and the transition between each civilization, it must be a kind of maybe disaster or big problem, and the curve of humanity will go down. So they will start from zero, hide maybe at caves, and that is why we have the story of the cavemen, but not as a beginning, but as a new beginning. Okay, so they go above the ground again, and they start a new life, and because they have, or they still keep some of the old information, so they because if you look to the flint tools, by the way, and I will send you some pictures to put it on the screen, you will find that there are very delicate tools, similar to some of our tools now, but made from steel. Okay, so I have the imagination.
The 2,300,000 tools are made of steel.
No, similar to what we
similar
now. Okay, yes. So as if you like if someone in modern days lost his way in deep in the desert or a forest, okay, we all understand that he is going to use the primitive tools or the primitive
ways to navigate.
Exactly, right? He will make tools to fit his understanding about the other types of or like to fit his understanding about modern tools. But the material is different. He's going to depend on natural materials, wood, mud, stones. So that is, in my opinion, that is what happened in those days. 500 BC, 300 BC, like they were multiple civilizations, one after the other, and the end of the civilization and followed by a beginning of a new one. But the time in between is that time of the primitive human. And because it doesn't make sense, my friend, that when we talk about ancient Egypt, and that part they call it dynasties, started 3,500 BC. Okay, before that we have a group of people, primitive. They call them pre-dynastic. Yes, they are primitive. I cannot deny this. So let's say 5,000 BC, 6 or 7,000 BC, no problem. So it means that they needed 3,000 years to develop, to become dynasties, to become a high level of education, knowledge, building pyramids. Okay, so it required them how many years? 3,000 or let's say 5,000 years. So what about those people who lived 2.3 million? They needed more than 2 million years to develop. So they kept doing flint tools for 2 million years.
Right.
It doesn't make anything, right?
That's your point.
But it makes sense if we talk about cycles, one after the other, one after the other. Okay, so they face the same end and they do the same beginning, the same end, the same beginning. Okay, so the story of the caveman, in my opinion, was repeated thousands of times. Okay, the story of flint was repeated thousands of times. Okay.
So where are we right now? Are we in a phase of, at the end of the phase that we're repeating and coming close to extension, or what?
Very good. Look, we are now at the beginning of a new cycle. But because our cycle now is different, because the last cycle was the cycle of darkness, cycle of Amun. Okay, the cycle before Amun was the cycle of Aton, the extreme sun, the very powerful sun, great civilization. But that is, the civilization ended with the great flood, 9,700 BC. It was complete destruction. great disaster.
Where was that, and what is
Global.
left from that?
It was global, all over the world.
What caused it?
Okay, the end of the civilization. This is, let's say, it's like one of the main laws of nature. Men are misusing all the natural elements and items. So nature is trying to fix itself again. Okay.
Sorry, Mohammed, before, what caused it? What caused the flood? Nature.
Yes. Nature is trying to fix and heal itself from all the misuse by the humans and ancient Egyptians at that cycle of life.
And nothing is left after that?
To say nothing 100%, it will not be accurate, but we didn't find anything. As I know, but maybe some pieces were found by some other people and still hidden. Okay. But my understanding that after that disaster, human had to start again from zero. Okay. But not zero knowledge. It is, let's say, from zero civilization, zero technology, but not zero knowledge. So based on what is left from the knowledge they know, they managed to create some tools, and then later when they developed and the material was available, they started to create civilization. And I can tell you also one of the interesting things, and it was always a big question to me when they talk about the Bronze Age, the Copper Age. So I keep telling myself, how come the primitive man will go to the quarry or a big piece of stone and abstract the bronze and put it on fire? That is not something to discover. This must be something understood. Okay, you do this like if you hunt an animal, huntings and even agriculture. This is something they see every day, and to feed themselves and to feed their families. So I see something very natural. But mining, no, this is not natural. Making iron tools or making copper tools by melting the material from the stone, and this is something must be based on previous knowledge. Okay.
Right.
So in my opinion, that also that the idea that there are so many stones with healing energy and with some kind of positive energies, also this was based on ancient knowledge. So they didn't discover this, but they reused the material, and they started to build a kind of a style how they are going to use this again in their second civilization.
In your opinion, if we guess, like, if that knowledge survived today and it's hidden, where it will be hidden? Like, will it be hidden in big libraries, or like in the libraries that will burn before, like in Iraq and Spain? You know, is it right now in the Vatican libraries? Where can we find that knowledge now, if it exists?
Look, that is a very good question. I will tell you that we are missing an important library, the Library of Alexandria. That one was burned by the Romans, I think around maybe 40 BC. So my guessing that there was thousands of books talking about the ancient Egyptian knowledge and secrets. Okay, and many of these books are missing forever. And in my opinion, many are in secret places, many in museums. Okay, but you know, I still believe that the ancient Egyptians, if they left something for us, if they left books, they must leave objects, okay, or what I call it, designs. So you can find the information written or designed. Mm-hmm. And that is why, but it needs from us to understand the message, okay, like to look to the wall, to understand why they put these numbers of blocks? Why not? Why 8, not 10? Why 2 small and 8 big? Why 5 with an end? So you see, I see it as a message. Every time I go like the Valley Temple in Giza Plateau, I always look to the wall and I see it like a message to me. But unfortunately, I don't have the tool or the way to understand this message yet. Maybe later someone can discover the code. Okay, and I think this will open the gate to understand thousands of the ancient Egyptian secrets.
So when we say secret and knowledge, like what are we talking about here? Like why, if someone finds these secrets, they will try to keep it for themselves and, you know, pretend that they never existed?
Look, my opinion that many of these secrets were found a long time ago. Okay, but because it wasn't the right time to reveal the secrets, so the secrets, like as if there is a kind of higher power doing this, so the secrets are still hidden. Okay, but I think that we are in the beginning of the new cycle of light, so the secrets will be revealed naturally. Like even if you don't find it, it will reveal itself, because we are ready for this, because we are at the cycle of light again. So when I show you something, you will see it in a good way. But the previous cycle was cycle of darkness. When I tell you, Mohamed, can you see this? You cannot see it. So we will misuse it, like what happened in the last 100 years. Okay, so my guessing that the new cycle will help us to see more and understand it.
What is your understanding of secret? When I say like there are secret knowledge that are hidden, you know, what do you think the ancient Egyptian considered secret, or we call it, or we have that knowledge and we want to keep it a secret, and to them it wasn't a secret?
Okay, what I call it secrets is the connections between things. To know the connection between this and that, that is a secret. And in the other side, that is a powerful knowledge also. Because when you know the connection and how to raise the connection or to lower the connection, so you can be able to control the material, you can control the surrounding environment. So this is what I call it secret. So we don't know the connection between things. Yes, in modern days, because of our modern technology, we know some things like this, okay? But we don't know the connections between what I call it the natural elements. Like I can tell you something. How many of us know that the sun is good, helpful for the bones, for vitamin D? Millions or trillions of humans, right? They know this. The sun is good. But have you ever like tell yourself, today I get some benefits from the sun? Maybe few who are saying this.
Yeah, not many who are aware, yeah.
Right? This is what I'm talking about. So those people are missing the knowledge of the connection between the sun and their bodies, the sun and the ocean, the sun and air, the sun. And I'm not talking about just physical effect, because we all know this, but I'm talking about something bigger and deeper than this, the effect of the moon, of the air, and when you can be in the right place, like it is a matter of when and where. Okay, it's not only expose your body to the sun every day. You know, it must be a certain time or powerful time. There is a powerful time, a weaker time. Okay, a powerful point. So these are what I call it connections or relationships. We don't know this, unfortunately. Okay.
So that connection is like a knowledge, and knowledge we know is power. You know, and when you have power, you don't want to give it, right? You want to keep it hidden from the masses. So
because this can happen because of two main reasons, for a good reason or a bad reason. The good reason, yes, that the man will say maybe people will misuse it, so I would rather to keep it hidden. Okay. Another, for bad intention, they will say, and how I will not get any benefit behind this, but keep it hidden so we can sell electricity, we can sell medicine, we can like this. Okay.
You know, I have a question. Maybe like we still didn't talk about the energy in details, but this is a great way to start it. But just before, because now it's kind of related. What do you think of secret societies? Like, do they exist today? Like
For sure,
recently,
yes.
or when did they start it?
My opinion, they started a long time ago during the time of the ancient Egyptians. Okay, I call the main power behind all these groups, I call him Amun-Ra priest. Okay, Amun-Ra means the hidden sun. Amun means hidden. So the follower of Amun are the hidden, the people you don't see them. Okay, so my guessing that Amun-Ra priest wanted to keep the knowledge to himself, to certain group of people. That's why education during the dynasties goes through the temple. If you want to become an accountant, you go and study to be a priest first. And after being a priest, you will become an accountant. If you want to be a physician, you must be a priest first. So all the knowledge was in the hands of a small group of people. So in my opinion, the main group behind all the secrets and the hidings and things like this is Amun-Ra priest. And then they created so many organizations with many names. Okay, so yes, they exist.
So do they exist today?
Yeah, sure, yes.
Are they known?
No, I don't think so.
Like
even if you are part of a similar group, you may don't know the others and you don't know the mission exactly, but you are like a small part to lead to a bigger action maybe or something.
Like what do you know about the Freemasons?
To be honest with you, I know very, very little, okay? Because I don't like to go and read about the people who want to know the knowledge or hide the knowledge. No, I'm trying to know about the knowledge itself.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't bother like reading about the groups are trying to use it or misuse it. Okay.
Okay, last question about this. Do you think the people who are in power today are part of a secret society or agenda, or I don't know? Is it too politics?
I think yes, because this is something natural. If you know better, you will be able to do things you will control. Without knowledge, there is no control. Okay, so I think the people who are in charge, they have better knowledge.
Okay. So the ancient Egyptian realized that there is energy, and the body also works on energy, and we kind of like vibrate at a certain frequency. So how you think that started, like the realization of the human body vibrates at a certain energy, and then our organs also, each organ vibrates at certain energies. So let's start by dissecting that first before we start talking about the method of healing.
Yeah, I think the start, look, again, as I stated earlier, that is not something they discovered. That is something they recalled from their memory. Okay, so if we talk in general about the knowledge of ancient Egypt, they understood that every item in nature has frequency, has energy. Okay, and to get the benefit of this energy, this item must be designed in a certain shape. Okay, certain size also, must be put in a certain place, and you deal with this piece or the whole structure in certain time. Okay, so I say there are four laws for getting the energy. The first one is location. You decide where to put the temple or the structure or even the block, which location, here or there. Okay, so location is important, and the location is something must be decided by certain calculations and certain alignments. Okay. Number two, location. Number two, alignment with the sky, something above. Okay. Like pyramids of Giza aligned with the 3 stars of Orion belt, and so many more, like in Dendera temple, the temple itself, the major temple, is aligned with the location of the sunrise, and there is a small temple behind aligned with Sirius star in the sky. Okay, so location, alignment, material. They are going to build this structure with limestone or sandstone or granite, and if it is granite, will be black granite or rose granite. Okay, material is very important, and the last one is design. Okay, how they're going to make the block, or less or more, and the widths also. As I told you, in the Valley Temple at Giza Plateau, you go and see sometimes blocks like 2 meters wide, and sometimes 1 meter, sometimes 3 meters. All of them the same height, but not all of them the same width. Also, you will find that the edge of the right side, like straight, like a rectangular or a square, but the left side with an angle. Okay. And then sometimes both of them straight, perfect cubic, and then in other cases different angles. So it's like a puzzle. Okay, so, but they understand why. I understand why, because I see it produces energy, but how exactly or why exactly, I'm not very sure. Okay, but I believe the designer was, like, of course, 100% aware with the effect of every change, or every angle, or every extra meter, or like different material. Okay, that's why you see this kind of what we can call it weird design inside the Egyptian structures.
And the first thing that impressed me the most when I saw the Giza plateau is that I didn't know that all the pyramids like were intertwined, and there was a purpose behind the selection of each rock, and the shape of each rock. And there is like sometimes you see rocks that kind of to adjust a certain frequency or whatever, so the whole site is vibrating at one point. So how accurate is that? Like when we talk about that, the whole site has a certain frequency, and what is the purpose to create like pyramids, and the shape, what they will do with all that energy?
No, okay, let me tell you a short story before we answer this question. If you visit Giza Plateau, and hundreds of millions of visitors already did this, you go and you admire the pyramids, you love the place, you may feel the energy, you may not, and then leave. Okay, but let's see it slowly. When you look to the Great Pyramid, and we focus on the ground level, you will find that the Great Pyramid was built above almost the flat ground. Okay, when you look to the third pyramid, number 3, okay, the same, almost on a flat ground. Now we come to what I call it the big problem, the second pyramid. Okay, you see it flat ground, but it wasn't flat ground. When you look to the surrounding area or bedrock, you will find that from the west side, it is higher ground than the east side. So there was a sloping angle from west to east, and continue to the Sphinx. And I think you realize now that the Sphinx in a lower level. So now you understand that from the further west side, it goes slowly with an angle. Okay, so is this a place to build a pyramid? In my opinion, this is the worst plan ever. Okay, because to build the pyramid there, they had to do what? They had to cut from the west side and to take the blocks to put it on the east side to level the ground, which is great work, maybe harder than building the pyramid itself. Because when you go and if I tell you, clean this area or like level this area for me, you will go and destroy, smash the stones and you take the rappels outside. But no, this is not what happened. They cut the blocks precisely, perfectly, and left the blocks. And by the way, most of these blocks are weighing more than 50 tons. And I'm very conservative when I say 50 tons. There are some weighing more than 200 tons. So they had to cut them in a very, very precise, perfect way, and then carry them to the east side and put them before building the pyramid. Okay, and then they built the pyramid. So this is my answer to many people who will ask me, Mohammed, why do you believe that these pyramids are producing energy? Okay, because of the second pyramid. Because if these pyramids were just pyramids, just stone construction, you know what? If they move the pyramid only 30 meters to the west, there is a flat ground. And it is fine, no problem. But why they insisted to be in this location, to be built at that spot? No meter north or south or east, it is at that specific spot. Okay, because the three pyramids were designed to look like this. Okay, the same like when you have the computer motherboard. When you look at it, each component must be in certain place. Okay, if you like expand space in between, it won't work efficiently. If you shorten the space, also it won't be good. So that is the story behind the pyramid. Something else, the Great Pyramid was built from limestone. Yes, there is a chamber, we mistakenly call it the king chamber, is decorated completely from inside with rose granite. But the main building is built from limestone, and the casing stone is also limestone. Okay. The third pyramid was built entirely from limestone and cased with rose granite. And also the room inside also covered with, but on the lower level, covered with rose granite. So now we have the Great Pyramid, limestone and limestone, building and casing stone. The third pyramid is limestone and granite. Now the second pyramid, limestone, the construction, but the casing stone, 50% granite, 50% limestone. And I see it a perfect design because it will play as a middle pyramid, okay, receiving from both pyramids and harnessing the energy and sending the energy in a different way, or let's say in a final way for the people to the Valley Temple. And that was the function of the Valley Temple. People will go and get inside to receive the energy. They didn't need to do like what we do nowadays, to go inside the pyramid or to be very close. In the ancient days, was dangerous. Actually, was not good things to do. They must receive the energy at what I call it the delivery station, which was the Valley Temple.
So what is this energy like? That means it will replace food. Like what are we talking about exactly when you say they receive an energy?
Okay, look, do you want do you want the explanation of what the kind of energy?
Yeah, I mean, like when you say people go there to get the energy, so what are they getting? Like what they do with that energy?
Look, what we understand that or what I understand, and there are some people they agree with me that the pyramids were producing microwaves. Okay, the pyramids are producing a magnetic field and electromagnetic field. Okay, they are producing a kind of what we call it negative energy based on the electrons of hydrogen. So people who are going to the Valley Temple or similar sites, they are going for two things. They need healing. They are sick. They feel bad. They are injured, maybe. Okay, so they go to heal their physical body. And the second group, they go to heal their spirit. They have problems with their spirit. Okay, maybe with their mind also. So as if the place is helping both the physical aspect of the body and the spiritual aspect of the body. Okay. And in some other places, I can tell you that this kind of healing energy also can affect animals, can affect plants, okay, can affect water. Under the so-called Mercury Temple or funeral temple on the east side of the Great Pyramid, there's a kind of a small channel running all the way under the temple. And not in this one, but in similar cases, we found water pipes from copper. Okay, so we expected that in this channel or like little canal, it was covered with water pipes. Water for what? Like what is the source of water? That is, in my opinion, it was a system was made to run water through, and the water will absorb the energy from the side and will become what I call it ionized water. This ionized water, in my opinion, it plays like magic. When you drink it, it helps your internal organs to become in a good shape, and your blood, okay, the liquids inside the body. So affecting the livings, affecting the land, and affecting the water.
Yeah, and I remember like many people say like when you drink from, it's better to drink from a copper cup water because of the effect. And there is like the tensor rings from copper, you know, many benefits from the copper.
So imagine copper and the energy of the pyramid together.
The mix is powerful.